What was your I dodged a bullet moment? I was dating a guy who I was really into, but didn't get the same vibe off him, so I ended it before it started. He got really mad saying how much he wanted a relationship, but I stuck to my instinct. He almost immediately gets into a relationship with another girl, gets her pregnant, and then cheats on her with 4 other girls. Filling the void left by you, I assume. Filling a lot of voids. I was asked to go see the Eagles of Death Metal at the Bataclan, but declined as I already saw them before, and went to see something else. If you're for real, that's probably the biggest dodge in this thread. Crazy. I don't know if this guy's story is real or not, but being from Paris I know one guy whose coach decided to add a training that night, making him miss the concert, a mom who had reservations at Le Petit Cambodge and decided to go closer to her house because she was tired, and a couple other similar stories. Makes you think about how small decisions can change your life. A buddy of mine, ex-buddy, pointed a .22 caliber rifle at my head jokingly. I told him not to point a gun at me. I mean shit. Always assume the gun is loaded. Well, he turns around and says it's not loaded though. See, and right as he said see I stepped out of the way and he pulled the trigger. A tiny bang and a hole in the wall. Later he realized it was loaded. At that point I had already grabbed the rifle from him and slammed the butt of the rifle into his chest and called him an asshole. We no longer talk. Who the heck would point their gun at their friend jokingly? Not mine but my friend's. He really liked this girl and wanted to ask her out. She seemed really cool and down to earth. Even I thought that. Her exes told everyone she was nuts, but she told people they were abusive. My friend told her he wanted to ask her something the next day she came into work. Well, he was sad this one day because someone else just asked her out a day before he did. I consoled him in the typical guy friend way, yada yada. Anyway, it turns out she was insane. The guy kept saying how he just loves her and wants to help her and so on. One day after a particularly big fight she punched him and kidnapped kid's sister. 8. He drove out and found her, fought a lot, and brought his sister back. He then went back to confront his girlfriend and probably break up according to his friends he texted. When he went in the door she shot him in the face with a shotgun and then blew her own brains out. I always tell my friend he literally dodged a bullet. When I was a kid, I lived outside of Buffalo, New York, and took a bus to get to school. There were a lot of elementary age kids in my area, so we were all picked up and dropped off about a block down our street, at the corner of our residential street and a busier one. On the corner was an ice cream shop, so on nicer days, we tended to lag around after the bus dropped us off. They had put in some cement patio tables, round ones, so my friend Lean and I would play a game where we'd walk around the circular benches on one table, hop to the next, and so on, and then go look in the sweet shop windows to watch them make someone's cone or make some candy. They did candy, ice cream, donuts, etc. Just sort of screwing around after school the way kids do. I moved out of there when I was 9, and we only rode that bus for kindergarten and up, so I was probably somewhere between 5 to 8 at the time. One day when we were lagging behind and whatnot, after my older brother had already started walking home, a car pulled up with 2 women inside. It was some kind of big boxy sedan, a dark maroon color. The driver was older, what I would have considered granny age then, thin, with grey hair, and she was smoking. In the passenger seat was a heavyset woman with frizzy dark hair and thick rimmed wide glasses. She kept trying to get us to come sit in the car, promising to buy us ice cream and candy from the sweet shop. My friend was pretty much ready to get in, but I'd already seen quite a few episodes of Unsolved Mysteries, and was not about to go. I grabbed my friend and dragged her with me, running down the block towards home. We never told anyone, because Lean didn't want me to get her in trouble and say that she was going to go with them. I had actually forgotten about it for years and something stirred it up again a while back. It's been eating at me since that we didn't say something, because it seems obvious to my adult mind that these women were looking to take some children and Lord knows where they went after they weren't able to snag us. I've thought about trying to look up missing children from the time and the area, but part of me is scared that I will find one and then it will be my fault for never reporting it. I was searching my pockets for the keys to the front door of the building I was living in at the time, and a friend who had given me a ride home, shouted at me from the car because I had forgotten something inside. The moment I got to the car, part of the stone facade of the building fell exactly where I had been a few seconds prior. This is some Final Destination shit right here. Death is going to want that debt paid. Kefalopus was going to energize a bucket, turn on a big switch, when an operator reminded me I wasn't trained for it. He went and did it. It arc flashed and almost killed him. This isn't a knock against the operator. He was 100% correct that our internal HHS rules prohibited me from doing it. While he just got hurt, it most likely would have killed me, because I doubt I would have taken all the precautions he did. Arc flashes are no joke. I did a literature review of arc flash injuries and fatalities in the rural electric industry. With only a few exceptions, and some really crappy luck, nobody wearing all of their PPE, personal protective equipment, and wearing it properly died. The vast majority of deaths were people wearing no PPE at all. Their clothes, often winter jackets, caught fire and they died several weeks later of infection or organ failure as a result of comprehensive burns. Definitely not at the top of anybody's list of favorite ways to go. People who didn't catch fire very often made a full or nearly full recovery. You can't prevent arc flashes 100% of the time, so you have to assume it's going to happen and take precautions. Your buddy's training probably did save his life. Statistics suggest that an untrained operator's odds are not good. While I was in basic training for the army, we were on the qualification range for M16. While I was on the mound, preparing for the second round of targets, I looked to my right to see another recruit trying to clear a jam. Now, I'm not sure how many of you actually know how to safely utilize a firearm, but basically you're meant to always be pointing your muzzle down range, muzzle awareness. This bozo had his rifle pointed right at my head. I quickly lowered my head as far as I could, as I was in the prone position already, and less than a second later I heard his rifle discharge and the round go whistling past my head. TLDR, I literally dodged a bullet. Almost exact same story here. We spent an hour setting up targets, then get on a line in some field at feet. Bending to shoot. Dude next to me can't see over some brush, so he starts crawling backward for a better position. Turns out, he never took his finger off the trigger. Bullet strikes the ground about 8 inches from my head, so close that dirt gets in my eyes under my eye pro. Partying in Mexico dance club, Tijuana. I went to bathroom. On the way there was a group of people smoking pot. They offered, so I took a hit. I proceeded to go into the bathroom and pee. When I came out of bathroom, the group of people smoking pot were being arrested by federales, Mexico police. I just kept on walking. Mexico jail is the last place I wanted to be. I've been arrested in Mexico, forced to clean fesses, and puke off the floors and walls. 10/10ths would not recommend. Had a fiance who I'd been dating for 3 years. There were 2 episodes where weird things happened. Random dude knocked on our bedroom window, saw it was me and ran off. Drunk guy calling her phone nightly for a couple weeks. She explained it with all these logical reasons. So I trusted her, although she constantly accused me of cheating 1 week before the wedding. I'm studying, while she's out with the girls from work. I usually studied at the school till midnight, but decided I'd study at home on the couch. She walks in plastered with some guy. Obviously wedding is off. She cheats on him, marries another guy. While married to guy A gets pregnant with another guy. Now a single mom probably cheating on whoever she is with. I don't understand women that cheat. Well, any person that cheats. If you want to be with someone else then just break up. I told my boyfriend, if you want to sleep with someone else just break up with me. Just make it easier for us. Of course I promised the same. No point of trying to keep a broken relationship together. I'm glad you dodged that crazy. I hope you are doing better. Doing dismounted patrols in Iraq, walking around, looking for bad guys, when an Iraqi popped out from in front of a van about 15 feet from me, AK-47 at the ready, and pulled the trigger. It fired 1 round and jammed. I felt the puff of wind as the bullet missed my cheek by an ass hair. If that rifle hadn't jammed, which AKs rarely do, there's a good chance I wouldn't be here right now. I still have the cartridge that missed. I consider it the bullet with my name on it. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe.